Ta'alofa o lo'o ingoa o Telesia Iris Losa Nielsen Caldwell. Hello, my name is Sia. I am of Samoan, Tuvaluan, and European descent. I identify myself as a Samoan New Zealander, and I am a proud Samoan Afakasi. I am from Dunedin, and I am currently living here in Auckland and studying at AUT University, which is also where I did my undergrad. I majored in English and New Media Studies and minored in language teaching, and now I'm currently doing a master's in language and culture. I am actually the first in my immediate and extended ainga to get a university degree, so this has been a huge accomplishment for my family and myself. And I'm also a university tutor here at AUT, teaching a level 5 paper called Academic Communication. And I absolutely love it. A little bit about my involvement in the Pacific community and my Samoan culture is that I grew up in a Fat Samoa household and environment back home in Dunedin. My grandparents lived right next door, my uncle lived across the road, my cousins lived down the street. Our whole family lived on the same block, which was great. But my grandparents, they really taught me everything I needed to know about my culture, my heritage, salos. No, I'm just kidding. But, you know, they raised me to be proud to be Samoan, even though I look Palangi. You know, and looking Palangi definitely had its disadvantages. You know, I struggled with my identity and relating to my cousins and my island friends at school, but also my siblings. My siblings are brown. You know, but looking Palangi it never stopped me from partaking in anything to do with my culture. Ever since I can remember, you know, I've participated in Pacific Island Sports Days, Pacific Island Youth Camps, the Samoan Catholic Church, Polyfest, every year, Polyfest. You know, down in Otago, Polyfest is pretty important to a lot of the islanders down there because it gives us a chance to showcase our culture to everybody, but also to make our families proud. So I also tutored my little brother's primary school back when I was in high school, and they performed at Polyfest as well. I guess just always performing at birthdays and weddings and kona'is, anything to do with family gathering. We had to grab an air lava lava and we were out and we were dancing. What else? I went on a university exchange in 2018 to South Korea. And surprisingly, there is a huge Pacific community over there, and they call themselves Pacific Connect. And so I joined up with them, and I performed at a few events. But then the biggest thing we did was we advocated, you know, the Samoan culture, and we performed at this humongous global festival that was streamed online and streamed on TV, and we won first place. So that is like a huge highlight in my life, looking back and showing that I could showcase our Samoan culture to Koreans. You know, Koreans didn't know much about where Samoa was or what Samoa was. And so, yeah, I really loved doing that. What's some other things? I took Samoan as a language paper in 2019, which definitely gave me a lot of insight into the pronunciation, I guess, and also formalities, and, you know, just learning a lot of the basics, which was really, really helpful. I guess the last thing is the paper that I teach, academic communication. I have about 50% of my students are Pacific Islander, and I can see firsthand the difficulties and the struggles that they have academically, and I always make sure I go the extra mile to make sure that they understand the expectations and requirements of the assignments. But, you know, also because, you know, Pacific Islanders, we treat people like we treat our ainga, you know, and I think that's really important in a classroom, to make sure that the students feel comfortable, they feel like they're safe, they feel like they can ask any questions, and they know that I'll be there when they need my help. So I have been very involved with helping Pacific Islanders in the academic communication paper this year. and trying my best to help them succeed and use the fundamentals that they learn from this class to use so that they can use them in the other classes and for their other assignments as well. And this is why my research is so important, because it focuses on Pacific Island undergraduate students and the academic struggles that they encounter as they strive to graduate at New Zealand universities. Pacific Islanders have the lowest passing rate for everything in every category at university. And I know I can make a difference. I know I can do something about it, which is why I changed masters. Last semester I was studying professional language studies, and I changed to the Masters of Language and Culture because I felt like I needed to take the initiative to do something, that I needed to make a difference, and I needed to help our Pacific community. My grandparents taught me values like fa'aloalo and tautua, which is, respect and service. And out of respect for all of the people that have helped me and guided me through my own academic journey, I feel like it's only right that I give back. Out of respect for my grandparents and my parents who have sacrificed a lot to give me the opportunity to go to university and to live in Auckland, I feel like it's only right that I set an example and I make a difference. I can't just say these are my values. I have to live by these values, which is why I'm so passionate about this project. I have the ability, I have the knowledge, I have the experience to create, develop, and publish a study guide that is aimed towards Pacifica students and their academic success. This is going to provide them with the fundamentals that they need for tertiary level study. It's going to give them an idea of the expectations at university. I hope that it overall increases their own self-confidence and their own academic ability, but also improve, their academic success. I just know that this is going to benefit the Pacific community. It's going to help so many students that need it, especially because of, these COVID times. It's going to be a resource that is going to be accessible to them whenever they need it. I really, 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 really know that this is going to be very helpful, and it's going to make a change in the current system. So please, please help me help the Pacific community. Whawhitai lava.